All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down two incredibly simple but really powerful tools you can start using today to get a handle on your hunger and cravings. And listen, this isn't about restriction. It's about finally understanding what your body is actually asking for.
So, does this sound familiar to you? You finish a big meal, you feel totally satisfied, but then, not even an hour later, that little hunger pang starts creeping back in. It's so frustrating, right? You check the clock and your next meal is still hours away. It's that exact cycle that can just completely throw you off your game.
And this is usually what happens next, isn't it? You end up stuck in this loop, raiding the pantry for something, anything, and before you know it, you've snacked away any of the progress you were hoping to make. But here's the thing. What if the problem isn't your willpower? What if it's actually about what's on your plate or what's not on your plate? Okay, so let's talk about our first line of defense, and honestly, it's an absolute powerhouse. The protein principle. The simple truth is, if you're feeling hungry all the time, you are almost certainly not eating enough protein. And that matters for a couple of really specific, really important reasons. The magic word here is satiety. It's just a fancy way of saying that feeling of being full, satisfied, and not thinking about food for a while. Now, you've got three macronutrients: protein, carbs, and fats. And protein, well, protein is the undisputed champion of making you feel full. It just keeps you satisfied for way longer. Think about it. No one's ever said, man, I really overdid it on the chicken breasts last night. There's a reason for that. So how does this actually work? Well, it's pretty cool. When you eat protein, your body cranks up the production of a hormone called peptide YY. You can just think of it as the I'm full hormone. It literally sends a direct message up to your brain that says, hey, we're good down here. You can stop sending out hunger signals now. It puts you back in the driver's seat. But wait, it gets even better. Protein doesn't just fill you up, it actually revs up your metabolism. It's something called the thermic effect of food. Basically, your body has to burn a ton of energy just to digest protein. We're talking 20 to 30% of the calories from the protein itself. So for every 100 calories of steak you eat, your body only really gets to use about 70 of them. It's like getting a free metabolic boost with every meal. So what's the magic number? The goal that really makes all this work is aiming for 30 to 50 grams of protein with every single meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hitting that number consistently is what flips that hunger switch off and keeps you feeling satisfied. But you might be wondering, what does 50 grams of protein actually look like? Now, that might sound like a lot, but it's probably more doable than you think. Getting to 50 grams could be a solid 6-ounce chicken breast, maybe an 8-ounce steak, or if you want a super simple option, about 2 scoops of protein powder. See, it's not about eating these massive quantities of food. It's just about being a little more strategic. Okay, so you've got your protein dialed in, but you still get those random urges to snack. This brings us to our second secret weapon, the hydration hack. The next time you feel a craving coming on, I want you to stop and ask yourself one simple question. Am I actually hungry, or could I just be thirsty? To really get why this is so important, we just have to go back to basics. Remember, your body is about 60% water. Every single process, every signal your brain sends, it all depends on you being properly hydrated. So when that balance gets even a little bit off, things can get kind of scrambled. And this right here is the key to the whole hydration hack. The part of your brain that processes thirst signals is the exact same part that processes hunger signals. And it gets its wires crossed all the time. So even being just slightly dehydrated can send a signal that your brain completely misinterprets as, I need to eat. And that little bit of confusion, it leads to so much unnecessary snacking. I mean, just look at how similar these signals can feel. That afternoon fatigue, that dull headache. You might think it's a drop in blood sugar that needs a candy bar, but it could easily just be your body crying out for water. Or that sudden craving for something crunchy. It might not be about the chips at all. It could just be your body's weird way of saying, hey, I'm thirsty. So how do you figure it out? The fix is so simple. Just use this test. The next time you feel an unexpected hunger pang, before you reach for a snack, I want you to drink 2 big glasses of water. Then just wait. Give it 10 or 15 minutes. And if that hunger feeling completely disappears, well, congratulations. You just solved the mystery. It wasn't hunger at all. It was just thirst in disguise. All right, this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, decoding your cravings. Let's go a little deeper now, beyond just the physical stuff, and really figure out what your body is trying to tell you. Because this is the big question, isn't it? You feel like you're doing everything right. You're hitting your protein targets, you're drinking plenty of water, but then, bam, out of nowhere, this intense, overwhelming craving for chocolate or chips just hits you like a truck. What is going on there? Well, check this out. When a really powerful craving hits for something very specific, it only signals true physical hunger about 10% of the time. So what about the other 90%? That, my friends, is your body's response to a non-food need. So the trick is to interrupt that pattern before you just blindly act on the craving. Run through this quick 3-point checklist. First, sleep. Did I get enough last night? Because if you didn't, your stress hormone, cortisol, is through the roof and your brain is screaming for the fast energy it gets from sugar. Second, water. Are we sure I'm not just dehydrated? We just covered that one. And third, boredom. And you have to be honest with yourself here. Am I just stressed or bored or trying to procrastinate? So often we use food to fill an emotional void, not an empty stomach.
And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. Cravings are not a moral failing. They are not a sign that you're weak. They are simply a signal. And the real key is to learn how to pause and translate that signal correctly. So instead of just reacting with a cookie, you can start responding with what your body truly needs, whether that's a nap, a glass of water, or just a 5-minute walk outside. And that shift in perspective, that is the ultimate way to take back control.